deeds of surface warriors have helped keep this country free, from the War of Independence to the War on Terrorism. History is replete with the stories of their contributions, which have enabled surface naval forces to effectively defend the cause of freedom. Each year, the Surface Navy Association honors some of the individuals who have made an exceptionally significant contribution to the Continental Navy, U.S. Surface Navy, U.S. Coast Guard, or to surface Navy warfare as a member of the armed forces or as a civilian. SNA is proud to introduce the following individuals as our newest inductees in the Surface Warfare Hall of Fame. May 25, 2006, Washington, D.C. Admiral Thad Allen assumes the duties as the 23rd Commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard. As its top officer, he leads the efforts to reform and modernize all aspects of the Coast Guard. His aim is to make the Coast Guard a change-centric organization capable of quickly and efficiently adapting to meet the growing and ever-changing demands of the future. As part of the modernization efforts, he is the first high-ranking member of the federal government to embrace social media. Allen is widely praised for his leadership in Coast Guard responses to numerous international incidents. This includes relief efforts following hurricanes, floods, oil spills, and earthquake, as well as search and rescue cases and other environmental incidents. His leadership in the exploration of the changing Arctic strengthens relationships between the Coast Guard and other nations' armed services, as well as federal partners and the private sector. He leads the nation's response to the Deepwater Horizon oil spill and continues as National Incident Commander after completing his 4-year term as Commandant. He retires from the Coast Guard on June 30, 2010. Among his many honors are 2 Homeland Security Distinguished Service Awards. December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Bosun's Mate Second Class Joe George serves on the repair ship Vestal during the Japanese attack. Moored to the battleship Arizona, the Vestal is struck by 2 bombs just before a massive explosion in the Arizona. With the Arizona sinking and flames spreading to the Vestal, a senior officer orders George to cut the mooring line so they could get underway. George sees 6 sailors who were trapped in the control tower on the Arizona's main mast, kept there by the fires raging below, and who are badly burned. Ignoring the officer's order to cut the Vestal loose, George throws a weighted heaving line toward the trapped sailors. The Arizona's crewmen secure the line and crawl hand over hand to the Vestal, while flames rage from the burning oil on the water below. The mooring line is then cut with axes and the Vestal is freed. Over 75 years later, Chief Bosun's Mate Joe George is posthumously awarded the Bronze Star with a Combat V for valor for this heroic action. 1944, Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Navy Reservist Lieutenant Grace Murray Hopper is assigned to the Bureau of Ordnance Computation Project. She is frequently called to active duty because of her pioneering competence in computer programming. Formerly a professor at Vassar College and a doctor in mathematics and physics, Hopper participates in programming efforts on the first large-scale computer, the Mark I. She literally finds the first computer bug in the Mark I, a moth that was trapped in a relay switch and shorted the system. This leads to the term debugging the computer. Hopper continues in the development of other early computer systems, both as a civilian and in the military. This includes the UNIVAC I, Mark II, and Mark III computers. Hopper believes that programming should not be an arduous task. This inspires her development of the first compiler program called Flowmatic. Compilers convert plain English into binary codes that the computer understands. This development revolutionizes computer programming. Continuing with compiler development, she designs the first computer language, forming the basis for COBOL. She also publishes over 50 articles and papers on software and programming languages. She retires from the Navy for a second time in 1986 as Rear Admiral. The first was in 1971, but she was asked to come out of retirement the following year. Commonly called Amazing Grace, Rear Admiral Hopper is recognized worldwide for her groundbreaking engineering achievements in automatic data processing, which have a profound effect on the development of modern-day surface Navy computer systems. She receives over 30 honorary awards. The Cyber Center at the U.S. Naval Academy and the USS Hopper are both named in her honor. She is also posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Obama. December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor. Lieutenant, then Gunner, Jackson Ferris serves as an ordnance repair party leader aboard the battleship California during the Japanese attack on Battleship Row. During the first wave, California is heavily damaged by 2 torpedoes, and Ferris is severely injured after one struck almost directly under his station. Despite his wounds and with the ship's loss of power, he sets up a hand supply ammunition train for the anti-aircraft guns. As the California begins to list heavily in one direction, Ferris orders counter-flooding in an attempt to bring her upright. Many sailors in his vicinity were overcome with nauseous oil fumes. Risking his own safety, Ferris repeatedly drags unconscious shipmates through oil and water to safety, while he is twice rendered unconscious himself. He saves the lives of numerous shipmates and is largely responsible for keeping the California in action during the attack. Subsequently, he continued serving in the Navy, earning his commission and achieving the rank of lieutenant commander. For his valor, he was awarded the Navy Cross, which was later upgraded to the Medal of Honor by President Truman. August 28, 1992, Washington, D.C. John Hagen assumes the position as the 8th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, leaving a legacy of improvements for enlisted sailors during his 5.5-year term. Serving under 3 Chiefs of Naval Operations, his efforts include a renewed emphasis on health, physical fitness, and education. He implements a Naval Heritage and Core Values reading initiative and expands the availability of higher education to deployed and remote units through computer courses and computer-based college materials. He is instrumental in addressing quality of life issues for single sailors by convincing Congress that unmarried petty officers deserve to live in a place of their own. Hagen is a catalyst for the Navy's leadership continuum, which provides focused leadership training at key career milestones for both officers and enlisted sailors. By strengthening the enlisted warfare qualification system, Hagen placed the qualification in its proper perspective, not as the pinnacle of a career, but as a symbol of professional proficiency and a vital element of career advancement. Hagen also revamps the Chief Petty Officer Initiation Program with a new emphasis on team building, Navy core values, and leadership. His efforts include an official revision of Anchors Aweigh, which is more inclusive of all sailors. After 34 years of service as an enlisted sailor, MCPON John Hagen retires in 1998 and is awarded the Distinguished Service Medal. June 8, 1967, Eastern Mediterranean Sea. Electronics Technician 3rd Class James Terry Halbardier serves on board the USS Liberty when it is attacked by Israeli jets and motor torpedo boats during the Six-Day War. In the initial barrage, all the ship's transmitting antennas are destroyed. Knowing that communication with higher authority depends on a working transmitter, Halbardier exposes himself to overwhelming rocket and machine gun fire to repair a damaged antenna in the open deck area. While under fire, he runs a coaxial cable across open decks from the antenna to the main transmitter room. After sustaining injuries, he continues repairing the antenna until a call for help is received and acknowledged by distant elements of the 6th Fleet. His courageous actions are critical in alerting Navy commanders to the ship's need for assistance and are instrumental in saving the ship and hundreds of lives. Petty Officer Halbardier receives a Purple Heart following the incident, and over 40 years later, he receives a Silver Star after a review of his heroic actions. Courage, vision, commitment to mission. Common traits among uncommon individuals. who have earned history's respect and who honor us all by their distinction as Surface Navy warriors. SNA is proud to add these 6 outstanding individuals to the Surface Warfare Hall of Fame.